Hello, this is Mish from Downtime Distractions with a first look review of a title called Human Fall Flat. Now, before we get started, we define our first look reviews in a different category than a full review by a few caveats. Please check the description below for specific detail on those. Also, being open and honest, I received this review copy of the game for free. So with all that out of the way, let us talk about Human Fall Flat. So what is Human Fall Flat? So it's a game that is set in a floating dreamscape with polygon graphics. You need to navigate the floating level to reach the exit. To do this, you need to utilize your skill in solving puzzles and exploration. Your character interacts with the world using advanced physics and an innovative control that's hard to master. Those controls really make the most simple puzzles fairly difficult to execute. The game also has a co-op functionality, so you can play locally with friends, so that's up to 2 players. Now, something to note here, which I think is quite important, I suffered heavy video game related motion sickness from this title. So if you have a tendency for that motion sickness with games, I warn against this title. But anyway, let's move on to who developed and published this game. So it's developed by No Breaks Games and published by Curve Digital. So this is coming out on the 23rd of July at a price of $14.99 US or your regional equivalent. Previous title from No Break Games. Nothing on Steam, but they've had 2 other games out. One was a mobile game called Pocket Sheep, and another one was on the Microsoft store called Signals. Human Fall Flat is also on itch.io website, so I'll put a link to that below. I believe if you purchased this game from that site previously, you can get a Steam key from there as well. So pop along to the link and you have a limited time to redeem that key as well. So suss that out now before you lose that. So let's move on to gameplay and mechanics. So you are Bob, a normal run-of-the-mill character. He doesn't have any abilities or superpowers. He is in essence just an average human, but he looks just like a stretched gummy bear. So you can customize your character, you can paint him, and you can also add a face with your webcam. So you can make it look however you want, add your face, add whatever colors. The main goal of the game is to reach the exit of each level, and we have 8 levels to complete. But all of these levels have many tasks and challenges blocking your way. From the very simple to the slightly complicated, all of these are made much more difficult because, whilst controlling Bob is very fun and comical, getting him to reliably do what you want is really a pain in the ass. You'll commonly be tasked with the following objectives, from pulling things around with your hands and your feet, pushing them, the same with your hands and your feet, carrying items, climbing, braking, interacting with items, driving trucks, cranes, sailing and rowing boats. In the description, it mentioned that nothing is scripted and there's no limits imposed on you, and I would completely agree with it saying there's no scripts. It's nothing. It's free to do whatever you want as long as you get to the exit. But I think them saying there's no limit isn't exactly 100% correct. For me, I think there is a limitation, and that limitation is dealing with the simulated physics with your gummy bear arms and legs. So basically a menial task becomes quite arduous. But that doesn't mean it's not fun and entertaining. But it is fully interactive environments is another thing they've mentioned here. So they can say you can grab anything, climb anything, and carry anything. And once again, I believe that's true, but slightly misleading because there's not a lot to move in the world. The worlds are quite empty. I mean, you often go into little houses and little rooms and there's nothing in there. It would be good to see, maybe in a patch in the future or something, these rooms be full of stuff that you can actually interact with. So currently we have 8 beautiful dreamscape levels, and they look very cool and are really unique, and I like the idea as well where if you accidentally fall off or you want to jump off the side of the level, you just fall down until you're on top of where you were before. So it's very unique and a really cool concept there. I quite like it. Before we get into a summary on graphics, audio and gameplay, let's jump in and have a look at the options menu just to double check the standard things they have in there. So in the options menu, what we have? Audio. So we have a master volume, FX volume, music volume and voice volume controllers. Fantastic amount of controllers there. I don't think there's any more that you could really want. And you have subtitles on and off in here as well. So fantastic audio options for this game. Video. We have brightness, resolution, full screen enabled, disabled, and we actually have an advanced options area. We'll discard that. And we have presets, high, ultra, so we got a little preset options there, but we can do it granularly as well. So you got quality of a few things there, cloud, shadow, texture, we got ambient occlusions, anti-aliasing, VSync, so pretty good options menu really, all in all. I mean, there always could be more, but I think that's a perfectly acceptable amount of options in there. We also have, which is very good, all rebindable keys for the keyboard and mouse. And we have controller support as well, because when you have two players playing co-op or local mode, one will be on a controller, one can be in a keyboard and mouse. So once again, rebindable keys in here, mouse sensitivity, a few other things. So pretty good, all in all, very good options menu for this little game. So let's move on to a summary. Okay, so let's look into a summary. So let's start with graphics. Beautiful looking levels, comical character, a nice low poly world to explore. The character movements are very comical, but slightly frustrating. The only negative point I will say visually is the water didn't look too good. It didn't move very fluidly, you could say. But that's really the only negative visual thing I've seen. But overall, graphics is pretty good. Audio, this might be because I had the pre-release version, but I found the audio just lacking a little bit. Every now and again the music would play and it definitely fitted and it was quite nice, but there just wasn't enough of it. But as I said, that might be my pre-review copy. The rest of the audio about, you know, him falling, the noises, the interactions, is all very nice, very well done. So let's move on to the gameplay. It's pretty unique and original. The only thing that comes close is Gang Beasts and Octodad in regards to the character interactions. But the actual puzzling is pretty standard. I want to compare that to Portal because I know that's where they got a lot of inspiration from. But for one, there's one major difference between this and a Portal type game, is there's so many different ways to solve the puzzles. From using items many different ways to platforming around it to skipping areas, it's very refreshing that we have this fantastic flexibility and not being forced to make certain choices. I really did appreciate that. It is definitely challenging and the difficulty is ramped up as you proceed through the levels. But also because of the physics-based interaction and your movements for the most part over actual difficult puzzles. There's definitely difficult puzzles and they're very fun as well, but they're all just complicated with that struggle of the interaction. It's also very cool that you're not locked into a script or forced in a specific path when solving puzzles. Just get to the exit any way you can. This title took me 4 hours to complete, but I will admit there was more areas to explore that I just really glossed over. And it does have replayability, but in my opinion, once I've completed it, I've no urge to go back. But a lot of people may want to replay it to find other ways to solve the puzzles and find the achievements as well. But that gives you an idea, 4 hours minimum for a price of $15 US. The choice is yours, as no one can really tell you what your time is worth apart from yourself. I can see the appeal with this game, and I think I've captured those aspects. So unique interactions, beautiful levels, but run-of-the-mill puzzles. But they're so much more difficult because of the gummy bear features of your character. But one more thing I will say, I think they need to make a Human Fall Flat 2, because this game for me is really a base game for what the potential is. You could make such a unique world with death traps, enemies, just push it to the next level of danger and interaction. Have a story. I was hoping at some point that a story would come out, and I was pretty disappointed that no story eventuated, as I think this would have been perfect for a fantastic story, adding some characters in there. You know, as I said, the possibility is endless with this game. I really think this is a base to build on for these guys. It would have been perfect for them to go into early access so they could add a story and add more to it, but obviously they decided not to. But hopefully they are working on something in the future which is based around this, because as I said, adding a story to this game, building on this world, adding more danger, adding people to interact with, it would make it a fantastic game. That doesn't take away from what this game is. It's just a little puzzle game for $15, a couple hours worth of fun, and it is fun, and it's going to really appeal to a lot of people. But for me, I liked it, but I just was a bit disappointed that they didn't push it to that next level. So I'll leave this video here. I've enjoyed my time with the game, and I've enjoyed making this video. I hope you've enjoyed the video as well. Please comment below, like and share it, and subscribe, as it really helps us out. So this is Mish, and I'll see you next time. Until then, cheerio.